as a neurologist, I need you to know that what many people call a minor stroke is not minor at all. In older adults, these silent episodes may not cause immediate collapse or death, but they are dangerous warnings that the brain is under attack. A mini stroke, often referred to as a transient ischemic attack, happens when blood flow to the brain is briefly disrupted. The symptoms may fade within minutes, but that temporary relief hides a terrifying truth. These small events can be the signal that a much larger, more devastating stroke is about to strike. The tragedy is that too often these signs are ignored. An older person may feel numbness, have trouble speaking, or stumble briefly, then recover and believe nothing is wrong. But each of these episodes is like a red flashing alarm telling us the brain's blood supply is unstable. Without urgent attention, the next event may not pass quickly. It may leave permanent damage or even take a life. Caring for seniors means more than treating illness. It means recognizing these subtle warnings early and taking immediate action. The golden window of time for treatment is short, just a few hours, and every minute matters. In this video, I will guide you through the signs of a mini stroke, the reasons they happen, and what must be done right away to protect the aging brain. Before we begin, I want to ask you directly, have you ever seen a loved one suddenly struggle to speak, lose balance, or feel numb on one side only to recover shortly after? Share your story in the comments, because what you say may help someone else recognize the danger and save a life before it is too late. 1. What is a mini stroke in older adults? A mini stroke, also known in medicine as a transient ischemic attack, is often misunderstood because the symptoms appear suddenly and then fade quickly. Many people assume it is harmless or temporary. In reality, a mini stroke is one of the most serious warnings the brain can give. It happens when blood flow to a part of the brain is briefly interrupted, either by a small clot blocking an artery or by a temporary drop in circulation. Unlike a full stroke, the blockage clears on its own, so the symptoms may last only a few minutes. But this short disruption is enough to tell us that the blood vessels in the brain are fragile and unstable in older adults. This is especially concerning. As we age, our arteries naturally become stiffer and narrower. High blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, and high cholesterol add more strain, making clots or ruptures more likely. When a mini stroke occurs in someone with these conditions, it is rarely an isolated event. It is often the first sign that a major stroke may be on the horizon. The difference between a mini stroke and a major stroke is not the underlying cause, but the duration of the blockage. In a mini stroke, the clot dissolves or moves quickly, allowing blood to return before permanent damage is done. In a major stroke, the blockage remains, starving brain tissue of oxygen until cells die. That is why doctors sometimes call a mini stroke a warning stroke. It is the body's urgent alarm that a larger, potentially life-threatening event could follow within days, weeks, or months. The danger is that the symptoms of a mini stroke can be subtle. An older adult may suddenly have trouble speaking, experience weakness on one side of the body, or lose vision briefly, then feel normal again within an hour because they recover quickly. Many dismiss the episode or fail to seek medical care. This delay is dangerous because the window to prevent a major stroke is small. Immediate medical evaluation is essential after even the mildest episode. Brain scans, blood tests, and heart monitoring can reveal the source of the problem. Whether it is clogged arteries, irregular heartbeat, or uncontrolled blood pressure. Once identified, treatment with medications, lifestyle changes, or even surgery in some cases can dramatically lower the chance of a full stroke. For older adults, understanding what a mini stroke is can save lives. It is not a harmless event. It is a critical signal. Think of it as the first crack in a dam. The water may not break through today, but unless repairs are made, the entire structure may collapse tomorrow. Recognizing a mini stroke and acting immediately gives you the chance to protect the brain before irreversible damage occurs. 2. Warning signs families should never ignore. The greatest danger of a mini stroke is not just that it happens, but that it is often overlooked. Because symptoms can fade within minutes, many families assume it was simply fatigue, dizziness, or a moment of confusion. This false sense of security allows the real threat to grow unchecked. The truth is that these short episodes are urgent alarms. If ignored, they may lead to a devastating full stroke in the near future. Families must learn to recognize the warning signs and act without delay. One of the most common signs is sudden weakness or numbness on one side of the body. An older adult may complain that their arm feels heavy, their hand does not respond, or their leg suddenly gives way, even if they can move again within a short time. This is not normal and must be taken seriously. Another red flag is a change in the face. A smile may become uneven, or one side of the mouth may droop. This small detail can reveal a disruption in the brain's control of facial muscles. One of the clearest indicators of stroke. Speech problems are equally important. If someone suddenly has trouble forming words, slurs their speech, or cannot repeat a simple sentence, the brain's language centers may be under attack. Families often dismiss this as tiredness or stress, but in older adults, it is a sign that blood flow to the brain is unstable. Vision changes are another key symptom. Blurred vision, double vision, or sudden loss of sight in one or both eyes can occur when the blood supply to the parts of the brain that control sight is interrupted. Balance and coordination issues may also appear. If a person stumbles, feels dizzy, or cannot control their movements, this should never be brushed aside. Severe headaches that appear suddenly and feel different from usual headaches are also warning signs, especially if they come with nausea or vomiting. These can point to bleeding inside the brain. Families must understand that even if these symptoms disappear quickly, they are not harmless. They represent temporary interruptions of blood flow, and each one increases the likelihood of a more serious event. Medical professionals often describe the first few hours after symptoms as the golden window. Acting within this time can allow doctors to dissolve clots, control blood pressure, and prevent further damage. Ignoring the symptoms, even for a few hours, may mean losing the chance to prevent permanent disability. When in doubt, the safest choice is to treat every episode as an emergency. Call for medical help immediately. Do not wait to see if the symptoms return. By recognizing these signs and responding quickly, families can save not only the life of their loved one, but also their independence, speech, memory, and dignity. A mini stroke is never just a small problem. It is a critical warning, and families must be ready to respond the moment it appears. 3. How to respond when a mini stroke happens. When a mini stroke strikes, the most important action is to treat it as a true medical emergency. Too often, families make the mistake of waiting to see if symptoms improve on their own. because the weakness or speech problems often disappear in minutes. They assume everything is fine. This delay can be deadly. A transient ischemic attack is not a passing inconvenience. It is the strongest warning that a major stroke may follow soon. The golden window for intervention is short, usually within the first 3 to 4 hours. Acting during this time can save brain tissue, prevent lasting damage, and reduce the chance of death. The first step is immediate recognition. If an older adult suddenly cannot lift an arm, smile evenly, or speak clearly, assume it is a stroke until proven otherwise. Even if these signs fade quickly, do not ignore them. Call emergency services right away. Do not wait for a primary care appointment. Do not try home remedies. And do not let embarrassment stop you. Every minute counts. And only a hospital equipped with brain imaging and specialized treatments can determine the next step. While waiting for medical help, keep the person safe. Do not let them walk alone, as balance and strength may fluctuate. Help them sit or lie down to prevent falls. Do not give food, water, or medication until a doctor evaluates them, because swallowing can be impaired and may cause choking. Monitor their breathing and be ready to report any changes to the medical team. Once at the hospital, doctors may perform scans to see if the problem is caused by a clot or bleeding. Blood tests, heart monitoring, and blood pressure checks will guide treatment. Depending on the cause, medication may be given to thin the blood, lower pressure, or control heart rhythm. In some cases, surgery may be required to clear blocked arteries. Families must also understand that response does not end at the hospital. Follow-up care, lifestyle changes, and strict management of underlying conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, and cholesterol are critical. A mini stroke is not the end. It is the beginning of a battle for prevention. Families should work closely with doctors to create a plan that includes healthy eating, regular exercise, quitting smoking, limiting alcohol, and routine checkups. Responding correctly means more than calling for help. It means committing to long-term changes that protect the brain from future attacks. Think of it this way. A mini stroke is the body's alarm system. Ignoring it is like hearing a fire alarm and going back to sleep. Responding immediately and decisively can mean the difference between a warning and a tragedy. The key is to never assume it was just a moment of weakness. Treat it seriously. Act quickly, and you may save a life. 4. Long-term prevention after a mini stroke. Surviving a mini stroke should never be seen as the end of the story. In fact, it must be viewed as the beginning of a new chapter in health. A transient ischemic attack is the body's most urgent warning that the brain is vulnerable. Without changes, the chances of a full stroke in the following days, weeks, or months remain dangerously high. Long-term prevention is therefore not optional. It is the only path to protect life and independence. The first step in prevention is medical management. After a mini stroke, doctors often prescribe medications to reduce clot formation, lower blood pressure, control cholesterol, or manage diabetes. These drugs may include blood thinners, antihypertensives, statins, or medicines that regulate heart rhythm. Taking them consistently as prescribed is critical. Skipping doses or stopping treatment on your own places the brain back in immediate danger. Families should support older adults in maintaining a strict medication routine, using pill organizers or reminders if necessary. Lifestyle changes are equally powerful. A healthy diet centered on vegetables, fruits, whole grains, fish, beans, and lean protein keeps blood vessels flexible and reduces the buildup of plaque, avoiding excess salt, sugar, fried food, and red meat prevents high blood pressure and cholesterol from climbing again. Hydration with water or herbal teas is preferable to sugary drinks or alcohol. Regular physical activity strengthens the heart, improves circulation, and lowers stress. Even simple daily walks, gentle stretching, or Tai Chi can make a significant difference. Exercise should be steady, safe, and enjoyable so that it becomes a habit rather than a burden. Weight control is another critical factor, as obesity multiplies the risks of hypertension and diabetes. Quitting smoking is non-negotiable. Cigarette damage artery, increase clotting, and rob the brain of oxygen. Quitting, even after many years, quickly reduces risk. Alcohol should also be limited, as excessive drinking raises blood pressure and weakens the heart. Stress management plays a larger role than many realize. Chronic tension releases hormones that constrict blood vessels and trigger clot formation. Practices such as meditation, deep breathing, gardening, or spending time with loved ones help calm the body and protect the brain. Social connection itself is medicine, preventing isolation and depression that can lead to neglect of health. Regular medical checkups are essential for long-term prevention. Blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar should be monitored closely, with adjustments to treatment made as needed. Imaging of the arteries or heart evaluations may be necessary to detect hidden blockages. Prevention is not about one dramatic change. It is about consistent, steady effort. Each healthy meal, each walk, each doctor's visit adds another layer of defense. Families must understand that the risk does not vanish after a mini stroke. It remains unless actively addressed. Long-term prevention transforms a frightening warning into a turning point. By embracing treatment, lifestyle adjustments, and ongoing monitoring, older adults can significantly reduce the danger of a major stroke. Think of prevention as building a fortress around the brain, brick by brick, with every choice adding strength. The mini stroke sounded the alarm, but what you do afterward determines the future. Choosing prevention means choosing life, independence, and dignity for the years ahead. Doctor's final words. As a neurologist, I must remind you that a mini stroke is never small. It is not a passing weakness. It is not just fatigue. And it is not something to ignore. It is the body's strongest warning that the brain is at risk. The symptoms may vanish in minutes, but the danger does not. Without action, a major stroke may strike suddenly, leaving permanent disability or even ending life. That is why every episode must be treated as an emergency. Call for help immediately. Seek urgent medical care and do not wait to see if the signs return. The golden window of a few hours is your greatest chance to protect brain cells and avoid lasting harm. Surviving a mini stroke is not the end. It is a turning point. It is the moment to commit to long-term protection through medicine, lifestyle changes, and regular monitoring. Healthy food, daily activity, stress control, and connection with loved ones are not simply advice. They are tools that build resilience in the brain. Quitting smoking, limiting alcohol, and managing conditions like high blood pressure and diabetes are shields that guard against the next attack. Prevention is not about living in fear. It is about living with awareness and strength. I want you to think about your own life and your loved ones. Have you or someone close to you ever experienced sudden numbness, speech problems, or dizziness that disappeared quickly? If so, share it in the comments, because your story could help someone else recognize the warning and take action before tragedy strikes. Remember, the brain controls everything you are. Protecting it means protecting your independence, your memories, and your future. Do not wait for a major stroke to teach you the value of prevention. Listen to the warning. Act immediately. And build a life where health and clarity last for years to come. The choice is in your hands, and the time to act is now.